Hi, my name is Dr. Scott Young, and I'm going to do a couple shorter videos like this. We're going to pop them on the channel so that you kind of know a little bit about this. Something that hits me very strongly, I'm going to tell you about a guy named Kevin, and he actually said this conversation. It broke my heart. He said, I am a believer, I know about the Bible, but I'm not sure God would really forgive me of the sin. And it made me pause. It's like, wait a second, bud, let's talk about that. Romans 3:23 says, "For all have sinned and fallen short of the glory of God," which means that no matter where you are upon that sin, pylon, let's say, whether you are Mother Teresa or Hitler, and by the way, we could get into all those different things, but there's a variance between, even if you think Mother Teresa or some nun or whatever person is the top of the of the heap, and Hitler is the bottom of the heap. The reality is all of us have sinned and not even gotten close to what he's done. To give you an example, if I was born in 66 and 78, I became a believer, and let's say I did 5,000 sins in that time frame. But from 78 to right now, and let's just say I'm going to die in 5 more years, whatever. Excuse me. And let's say I die in 5 years. And let's say I'm going to do 45,000 more sins, or a total of 50,000 sins, just for the heck of it. Just stick with me for that. And we're in 2021. And God, and I sin yesterday or tomorrow or today. It doesn't really matter when it is. And by the way, the biggest sins that you really are missing is the sins that we don't have any faith that it's going to happen. Something's going to happen, or something is going to be taken care of. We try to manipulate it to make it work for us because we're so terrified of that, which that's really what fear is about, is we don't trust God for that stuff. And that's actually a bigger sin than pornography and, gossip and all these other things, murder and all this other stuff. But if the reality is that all have sinned and fallen short of the glory of God, and if God has already seen every sin that I ever did because he died on the cross in 33 AD, then do you think that he woke up and said, wait, did you not tell me about that one? Did I forget about that one? Did God not write me a letter? Didn't one of the angels didn't forget to send the memo? And the answer is, God's going, hey, I've already seen it all. I've already known it all. The question that you have is, are you going to come into agreement with God that he's already taken care of this? Or are you going to come into agreement with what Satan is thinking and saying that, you're a sinner? You're the bride of Christ if you want to be. All you have to do is go, yeah, I want to get married. I mean, what happens if, your boyfriend says, let's get married, and you say, that's the right kind of guy, I want to be with him, whoever you are. And the response is, you are now, in essence, his bride. Does that make sense? I mean, yes, you're going to get married in a year or 6 months or whatever the number is. Not relevant. But you're already his bride. So why don't you see it that way? And I think that's the sad part that I see with a lot of people. They're not seeing it how God sees it. He's already paid for all the sins. He hasn't seen something that, oh, crud, I forgot about that one. He hasn't done that. So if he hasn't done that, why are you putting yourself down? Why are you saying that you can't be saved from that? Guys, you absolutely can. It can happen that way for you. All you have to do is just say, God, I agree with you. I agree with what you did a long time ago. And when you agree with God, then you want to listen to what he's talked about, which is the Bible and the Word. This is why we say it's the Word. If you want to know truth, it's in the Word of God. So I'll just leave you with this one point. John chapter 1 is one of the most powerful sets of information that you can ever read. John chapter 1 actually intimates that God and Jesus are one. Then it says that the word and truth are also crossing one another. And then it says all four of those pieces are intersecting. So when it says that anything in the Bible is the truth, it says that's coming out of his lips. He's going to make sure it is truth. And some people want to talk to me about, other supposed Bibles or supposed writings that are not in the Bible. And I'm like, you know what? Don't you think that God has more control over man to figure out that stuff? I mean, that's another conversation I'll talk about some other time. But he has already said yes to you. Do you want to say yes to him? He's already figured it out. Don't worry about it, guys. Thanks so much for listening.